just woke up from a nap and um I had a really interesting dream that I'm still trying to put together. It's one of those dreams that you wake up and you start to really think about it. It wasn't a bad dream, but um basically I had a dream that I was exploring ghost towns, and it's something that I've been looking at. I like to go up north. I live in Michigan. I love being up in the UP. And something recently that I've been looking at on YouTube and Wikipedia is uh, our ghost towns. And um, in this dream, I was in what I think the vehicle. I thought to myself that it was a Hummer, but it didn't really look like it. It was rather distorted. It looked like a pickup truck, but to me, in my mind, it was a Hummer. And we, me and a friend and somebody else, who actually I went to school with about 10 years ago, which is weird, and I haven't thought of them since forever. Um, we were in the UP and we were uh, on the main road and we were heading up to a place that I like to go. It's the small town called Copper Harbor. And we saw this neon sign on the side of the road that said, "Find your ghost town today." It was like an advertising looking sign. And my buddy that was with me said, "Oh, that'd be a lot of fun. Let's see if we can make some money." And so I said, "Okay, well, I don't know if the four-wheel drive is working, but I guess we'll take a chance." And he said, "Well, if anything, I'll get out and push." So we ended up following this arrow down into what almost to me looked like some kind of a big gravel pit, because I remember we were sloping down and I said, "I don't know if this truck is going to make it." And he said, "Just hold on really tight to the steering wheel." And we just went down, and it seemed like we were going down forever. And I had that feeling in my stomach like it was roller coaster like we were going faster and faster, and I was trying to stop. And I remember thinking to myself, well, I shouldn't lock up the brakes because then that's going to cause more, so I'll just let it roll. Well, we get all the way down to what I assume is the bottom of this gravel pit, and the check engine light came on, and I thought to myself, crap, we broke something, what's going on? And my buddy next to me says, "Don't worry about it, they're under warranty." And I said, "Okay, well, let's keep going." And the whole time in the back of my head, I'm thinking, something's going to break, something's going to break, they're never going to fix it, blah, blah, blah. So we're driving, we come through some woods all of a sudden. We're out of the gravel pit, and we're going through some woods, and I see a church on the right-hand side. And I could hear a choir in the church. And because the church that I go to, we have a small choir, and I could hear similar music. And it suddenly got really dark out, which was weird, because I remember I said, "Oh my God, I can't see anymore." We hit the headlights, and I hit all the lights on top of the truck, and we started to slowly drive up to this church, and my friend from high school was in the back, and he said, "We can't go any further because we're probably going to wake the devil." And I said, "You're probably right, but I can't back up anymore because the reverse and the transmission's gone. So we're going to have to go around the church." And meanwhile, the choir is getting louder and louder, and I could see people inside the windows. And they had these books in their hands, kind of like out of a cartoon or something. And they were singing. And I said to myself, I said, "If we get a flat tire or something here, we're dead." And so I start to drive around the church a little bit, and it got really dark, and the church lights went out, and then the music stopped. And I looked over to my right, and I said to my buddy, I said, shine that light in that area out there. And he did. He rolled down the window a little bit, and he shined this light out. And it was like the game Left 4 Dead. It was a zombie apocalypse, because there was a cemetery out there, and he flashes the light out there, and they all kind of turn and look towards us, kind of like they were upset that we flashed the light on them, and they started coming towards the vehicle, and I said, roll the window up quick, we got to get out of here. And I remember I kept hitting the four-wheel drive button, and it wasn't working. It kept beeping at me back like an error. And so I just floored it, and there was a whole bunch of trees, and I said, you know what, this Hummer can do anything. And I just like plowed right through all these trees. They're big trees too. And at the same time, that commercial in my head, I remember watching, of the H2 when it's going over all the puddles and they make it all sound like it can do anything, was kind of playing in my head at the same time, where I was driving that vehicle, and I was going through all these trees and mud puddles and everything, and I was just getting through everything, and got to the other side of this tree line, and I remember I said to the guy that was sitting in the back, I said, turn around, make sure they're still not following us. And he turns around, and he says, yep, they're still on our trail. And I said, well, get the minigun out. And so suddenly, out of the back of the vehicle, he pulls out this minigun, and he rolls down the back window, and he starts shooting it. And, of course, all the zombies are, coming after us. And it was just really weird. And I remember I said to myself, I said, only one more mile to Copper Harbor. And if we make it there, then there's a safe house there. So I just like go as fast as I can. And it seems like I'm losing power. And then I look down, and the speedometer is going lower and lower. And I'm pressing down on the gas as hard as I can. I said, we're either out of gas, something's wrong. I don't know what's going on. We're going to die. And so the guy that was next to me says, well, if you guys can cover me, I'll get out and get the gas can that's on the back of the truck and fill up the truck, and we'll get there. So, of course, I put it in park and let it sit there, and I get out what looked like some kind of a gun. I don't know what it was. It reminded me of a BB gun, but it was definitely more than that. And I opened up the sunroof, and I jumped up, and, I was just kind of shooting everything, and he grabbed the gas can, and I saw him kept getting grabbed by a zombie, and I was shooting him. It was just weird, this video game-like scenario that was going on in my head, and he filled up the gas, and we got in, and we took off again, and it was right about that time that I ended up waking up. And I remember I sat up, and I thought to myself, I had a feeling of being just lost and just isolated, and there was nobody around except for these zombies, and then the church thing. I don't know where that came from, but just over the past few days, I just got on the Steam network, and I was just playing Left 4 Dead just a little bit, not much, because I enjoyed the game. I played online sometimes, or I used to a lot. Don't much anymore, but I remember that feeling of just running and feeling lost in the woods, and we're never going to make it, and it just seemed like it was daunting. It wasn't a nightmare-like feeling, because I've had nightmares before. This was more of just a scared feeling the whole time. But really, the only thing that I can really associate with real life in there, number one, I'm looking through the ghost towns and watching some off-road videos of Hummers, which I think is where that came from. And I did see the commercial for the Hummer H2. And obviously the Left 4 Dead thing, it was in there too. And one video that I saw of the ghost towns was actually a church. There were some people on YouTube that were exploring this church that was kind of blocked in, and they had to walk to it. And so that's kind of where I think that all came from, was the whole church deal. But I'm pretty sure that that was just me kind of sort of exploring the options of when I go up north and I quite possibly look for these ghost towns. But yeah, so as always, this video is a dream log for myself. However, I'm looking forward to comments or interpretations, whether it be bad or good. I don't care. Hopefully, anyone who sees this video will be able to participate.